So for bringing art and architecture together, there's different concepts and ideas. And one, idea, you would say that the building itself is the art piece, right? Or is it the canvas that's holding a material that's important in an art piece? In this way, we're saying specifically it's not only a canvas, but also it's housing. It's almost a museum-like, right? So you select a piece of art and it's meant to complement the building, but not overshadow the building. So there's a real, push and pull there. And so it ends up being, very important. You can select because it can be out of sync with the overall design or idea. More recently, a digital aspect has come into play where their pieces are either interactive or just visually interactive, moving about instead of just stationary. So the opportunity there is, it creates complexity. You need maybe if it's a TV screen or a series, you've got a large wall that's sort of left blank day one, but, there's a piece of art or some type of digital representation going to be there at some point. What will be displayed is not necessarily known up front. So there's a lot of parameters that ends up being a little bit of a math problem. You just have the space available and know that something will be there in the future. The way art serves a building a lot of times is like it inhabits the space even when the people aren't. The building a lot of times is a place or a space where, people are coming and going, they're doing work, they're doing things, traveling through, they're on task in a certain way. But when they're not there, the art stays, right? So it's almost like an observer. So I think that's sort of a fun way, gives it maybe the building a soul or a identity outside of, its actual use. It sort of houses these moments in time that people are spending in this space. A really fun thing that we get to do in a design phase with our clients and with our partners in projects is when we put together design packages, we deliberately throw in art pieces. And our designers have a great time, thinking of these things, scaling them appropriately, and it adds to the story of the project. And whether or not they end up, exactly like that or not is not the point. But what it does is it gives the project and the design at that stage sort of a soul or a smile, right? A wink or a nod. Translating that to real world, as it goes through the progression of a design phase, the client can sort of add on to that and it become a conversation. So we like to introduce that early in our design as possibilities. For 34 and 35, specifically at Olympus, the properties there with Bill Ainsley, those spaces have, a strong landscape presence in a courtyard area outside of the two buildings. So the art was considered, as part of the design, which is really fun. There's some cloud, sculptures outside the area there, and there's a lot of pavers and things that sort of direct you and converge on the, the space there. And a reflecting pool that also identifies where the cloud sort of starts and stops. So it's a gathering point essentially. As you move into the spaces themselves and into the lobby spaces, we purposely design sort of jewel box openings to the outside with glass to highlight at night, so shine the art pieces to the street side. So it's a lot of fun.